Welcome to Talk to Me. I'm Esther Mills. Our guest is author Melissa Pettignano, and she has written her first book, Suzanne Lantana, and the book is about positive life lessons and coping skills for teens and preteens. Welcome, Melissa.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
And a lot of times I start off my interviews by asking if you began your career in writing, but you're only 21, so that's obviously the answer, right?
Well, I started writing
as a child.
Yes, exactly. I started writing as a child as well as doing music. So, you know, the musical aspect and literary field have been very much in my blood since I've been a baby. Mm-hmm. So that's where it all started, very young.
And when did you get noticed, or your writing pick up, or when did you realize that it was something you really enjoyed doing?
When I was in elementary school and I started writing, I really enjoyed it. And, you know, my teacher, Miss Ty, God rest her soul, she took a notice to my writing and she said, you know what, you have something here. And I told her, I know I do, I believe I do as well. Mm-hmm. And I said to her, I really, really want to pursue this. And she told me, well, if you ever need me, I'm here. And she was very instrumental all the way through in helping me with this book.
So how did you come up with your stories, and why did you have a concern? This book is about positive life lessons mm-hmm. for teens and preteens. What made you, or what created the concern for you?
Well, creating the concern for me was the fact that I went through a lot of situations growing up, and I saw a lot of things happening, going on around me, and I didn't like it, and I didn't want other children going through the same situation, so I wanted to help them as best as I could.
And did you find that you yourself were going through these lessons successfully?
Yes, I do. I mean, everything that I do, you know, I leave it in the hands of the Lord. I'm very, you know, much with my faith, and my family's very, you know, supportive and very strong in my life. So with the two, I'm very happy and very contented. Of course, every family has their moments, but together we work very well, and I thank God every day for that, to have them as my backbone.
And were you noticing around you teens or friends that weren't handling life very well? Did you notice that also?
Yes, I did. And a lot of them, you know, didn't want to take my advice on certain situations, and I understand that because they have to grow and they have to learn through it as well. But they, you know, make a joke. They call me the mother because I always would be on top of them, making sure that everything would be all right with them, and they didn't want to listen sometimes, but some did. But the ones who didn't came to me years later and would sit down with me and wanted to talk to me, and they apologized for a lot of different things that they had done or said, and a lot of them have made a better turnabout for themselves.
Oh, very nice. Suzanne Lantana, which is the name of your first book, and mm-hmm. you are doing a series.
Yes.
Is that you?
That is me, yes. 50% of it's me and 50% isn't. That's why the book is fiction and nonfiction. There's a lot of things in it that come from things that I've seen and that I've witnessed, and, you know, other friends of mine have gone through, so it's a combination of everything.
So it's a conglomerate of your own life issues or situations, as well as possible friends.
Exactly.
Situations.
Exactly.
And you've just kind of combined that to create this character.
Yes, and
her story.
Exactly. And a lot of situations that I went through, you know, they were very tough. You know, some people may not consider it tough, but it was. And there were certain issues that weren't as big either, but they come in all sorts of levels, and, you know, I feel that children need to learn how to cope with them the right way, mm-hmm. instead of hurting people. I think my mind was more focused on getting my music and you know, doing my book. I was more focused on that. I believe in people going for their education, and I say go for your education to the fullest. I got signed with Industry Modeling and Town Studios. I was modeling, and then I was, you know, I got a part in Spider-Man 3 in the movie as an extra, and then I continued with the book, did the music, and it just took off from there. I knew what I wanted to be at a very young age. You know, a lot of kids didn't understand that. You know, they would just look at me and say, "Oh, you're not going to make it. You're not going to do a book. You're not going to make it in music." And I said, "Oh, yes, I am. Watch me." And I am, and I did. And I thank God every day for that, because He's the one who helps me. I don't listen to the negative comments or, you know, the haters out there. I pray for their souls, though, and I hope that they can do better for the world and change.
And do you feel that you had a lot of that? Have you felt you've had a lot of obstacles in trying to put this together?
I had a lot of obstacles when it came to friends and certain things, because they would want to see me, but then there were certain times that I'd be doing something and I wasn't able to really be there.
And they didn't understand?
And they didn't understand why. And it's not that I don't care for them or that I didn't care for them, because I do wholeheartedly. It's just that, what the type of businesses is, they have to understand that you're not going to be around constantly to the extent that, another friend would be every single day.
You're also involved with music, you mentioned.
Yes.
How long have you been singing?
I've been performing since I was young. My first show was when I was about 8 years old. I did, 7, 8 years old. I did a contest at elementary school, and I sang Leslie Gore, It's My Party, and in oldies, group, and she was an oldie singer. And my family's very much with the oldies as well. We love it. And that's when I really started to perform and really get into it at that age. It was about 7 or 8 also, same time doing the book. So I was a lot going on.
So you're used to having an audience, it sounds like you're used to speaking.
Yes.
Or maybe that's one of your giftings, is to speak and to sing. And you said it was a show. Have you done other concerts?
I've had, with the school, we did a lot of different things, and I did perform out of school, at different events and so forth. But I also did a contest. Our school chorus, our high school and middle school really at the time, the chorus went on a trip and we performed, and I did soloist. I was one of the top soloists to perform, and I won for outstanding soloist of that year.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you. So I was very excited to be doing this.
You also won awards for your writing during school, when you were in school.
Yes.
What were some of those awards?
I won awards for poetry, and my mom is very much into poetry, so she was helping me a lot when it came to, learning and getting the grasp of poetry. So it really means a lot to me, writing. It really does. It opens your mind, and it gets you going into places that are just really remarkable.
Tell us about 9/11, because that's a theme that is in your book. Okay. What happens there? And
Well, 9/11, I lost my aunt, which is my mother's middle sister. Her name was Arlene T. Babakidis, and she was very also instrumental in my life. She was my second mother, and she was very supportive. And she didn't let anything get to her or bother her. Even if something was, she never would show it. And she had this dry sense of humor that would just make you crack up, and we'd always have a blast. And she was in, and I wanted to put this in the book because I wanted children to know that no matter how horrific a situation may be, you can always make it through no matter what, and God's there for you, no matter what you believe.
And so she passed away on 9/11?
Yes, she did.
And that kind of comes into play in the book in one of, is it Suzanne who loses her aunt?
Yes, Suzanne loses her aunt, and that whole story is taken from my life. It's completely true of what happened that day.
So that must have been, did you find that cathartic to write about her?
Yes, I didn't find it hard at all. It just came to me very quickly, and I wrote it all down, and I pretty much had it done within a half an hour.
This is the book. It's Suzanne Lantana. And this first book, how old is she?
In the first book, she starts from 10 and works her way up to 13. So it's 10 to 13 years old.
And you have started your second book?
I have started, yes. I'm already about 40% in. So it's interesting where she's going to be going, and it's interesting to recap on things that I went through and how I'm going to be playing it out with her character.
You've done the music, and have you done acting also?
I have been an extra in Spider-Man 3 when they were filming.
And what did you do as an extra?
We were in the midst of when Spider-Man would come down, or we'd be walking back and forth on the streets in New York City and, wave to Spider-Man. There were different things that we had to do. It was a 15-hour-day shoot, and it was a very long day. But it was supposed to be for 3 days, but 2 of the days I had to go and take care of something with my family. It was a personal matter, but it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. I really did.
And have you ever thought about maybe writing for the screen or plays or anything like that?
Not really as of yet. I have thought about writing other things, but I haven't really gotten to that field as of yet. But it looks interesting, and I would be interested in doing something like that. I really would.